Tzu Chi volunteers in Canada traveled to Edmonton to assess the needs of Fort McMurray fire victims. We meet a veteran nurse in Taichung who shows great care in treating elderly patients suffering from memory loss. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Siri Su. Thank you for joining us. In Canada, with the Fort McMurray wildfire in northern Alberta carving a new path of destruction, many affected residents have evacuated to Edmonton for safety. To help these fire victims, a team of Tzu Chi volunteers headed to Edmonton from Vancouver on the 11th to see how they can offer their services. Learning of the fire victims' needs for blankets, volunteers plan to have more than 4,000 thick eco-friendly blankets arrive in Edmonton by the 20th.
The Fort McMurray fire in Alberta, Canada has displaced tens and thousands of residents. Many have been placed in emergency shelters 300 kilometers away in Edmonton. Tzu Chi Canada chapter's disaster assessment team set out at 3 a.m. on the 11th from Vancouver to reach Edmonton to further understand what these fire victims need. Meeting with their local counterparts, besides discussing how to provide humanitarian aid, volunteers also canvassed for donations at a local supermarket.
You're trying to find out something more for your daily using, right?
Yeah.
For this period of time.
If there is a using now, then we are going to go back home.
Need, but you didn't see there.
The only thing that they didn't have, and this was back on Wednesday and Thursday, was laundry detergent.
Arriving at the distribution center, volunteers find the Edmonton Emergency Relief Services Society, whom they have worked with before, in charge. AERSS was also quick to mention that residents need blankets in the cold nights. Besides showing the crew Tzu Chi's eco-friendly blankets, the volunteers also demonstrated how useful the 金丝 folding bed can be.
More comfortable than the one with the metal springs.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that. There's no...
It's good for the back.
Yeah.
It's soft and warm, and sometimes a blanket just feels like a nice hug when you've had such a terrible disaster and the weather is still a little bit cool and you need to have a good rest or stay warm at night. Wrap yourself up in a nice warm soft blanket. It takes a lot of your worries away.
The local government is grateful for the enthusiastic emergency response. However, as it's a long road ahead, they hope the assistance can be a long-term plan.
There are many, many difficult stories. So I'm hoping that all of Canada and all of the international community will stand firm with Fort McMurray in the future. We're going to need a lot of help going forward.
It is estimated that on the 20th of the month, Tzu Chi's extra thick eco-friendly blankets and other daily necessities will arrive at the distribution center for the disaster victims. Tzu Chi volunteers also vowed to stay by their side for as long as needed.
To assist the victims of the Fort McMurray wildfire, Tzu Chi volunteers in Canada not only began to canvass for donations, but also help pack relief supplies with their long-term partner, Global Medic. The two organizations also joined hands to assist earthquake victims in Ecuador by sending over water purifier kits and daily necessities.
Global Medic is sending 700 water purifier kits and other daily necessities to quake-torn Ecuador. Needing some help packing supplies, the organization called on longtime partner Tzu Chi for help. Immediately, volunteers came to help despite being busy from days of canvassing donations for the victims of the Alberta wildfires.
This is my first time helping out packing. In the past few days, we have been canvassing donations, which tire out our legs, but today, our arms are getting a workout. No, my body may be tired, but my spirit is recharged.
16 Tzu Chi volunteers separated into two teams. One packs water purifiers, while the other daily necessities.
We're able to contribute a little of our strength. We are all very glad and grateful for the opportunity.
Being able to quickly complete the tasks at hand comes from the good relationship the two organizations have with one another. As Tzu Chi volunteers were also called upon to help sort and assemble the relief supplies for the Alberta wildfire.
Inside each hygiene kit are all the basic personal needs: toothbrush, toothpaste, soap, shampoo, razors, all the stuff that people need just to keep them clean and healthy.
being needed by others and having the ability to serve is what makes our life truly blessed.
In just 6 hours, 5,000 kits were assembled and ready to go. During the process, Tzu Chi volunteer Hong Youren hurt his finger. However, he taped it up and continued on with his work. After Tzu Chi's thick eco-friendly blankets arrive on the 20th, Tzu Chi volunteers will hold the distribution event to personally hand out aid supplies to give the victims a warm hug during this uncertain time.
In our next report, we're checking on a Tzu Chi volunteer Guo Liyun living in Kyushu, Japan. We'll see how the earthquakes in Kumamoto earlier this month have affected her. Despite concern for her own well-being, she's still doing everything she can to help others. I've got to tie it to something so it won't swing open, so other people won't come in. This is the minimal protection I came up with.
The quake has bent the door frame, making the home unsafe.
This is a memento left by the earthquake. It shows the exact time the earthquake occurred, just before 9:30 on the evening of the 14th.
The shock of the quake still lingers in the hearts of the residents here, and there's a shared fear that the next earthquake may occur at any moment.
I've placed my bag nearby, which has my keys and phone. Everything I need is close by. I make it a point to be fully dressed. I don't want to be in pajamas in case I have to rush out quickly.
Ms. Guo married a Japanese and moved from Taiwan to live here over 10 years ago. She invites us to her home to show the damage caused by the quake. The balcony's original barrier has been broken to provide a quick escape. From the outside, the building doesn't appear to be heavily damaged, but upon closer inspection, the hazard is clear.
Pieces of the outer walls are just kind of hanging in place. There's danger of them falling off, so be careful. If you walk ahead for 5 minutes, there's an elementary school. The school has been turned into a relief shelter for everyone.
The streets leading to the relief shelter are extremely quiet, and the environment is a striking contrast to the scenes one is used to in Japan.
The garbage is already overflowing. There was even more here earlier. The whole area was covered in garbage. You can't get to that area because it's locked up, so everyone is just dropping their trash here.
Because of the earthquake, Ms. Guo's family members have moved to nearby Miyazaki City to stay with relatives. Ms. Guo is keeping in touch with them, as well as the rest of her Tzu Chi family in Japan.
At
first, I was telling the Tzu Chi sister we had an earthquake. She asked, "Well, are you all right? How's your neighborhood?" Then when they said they would be coming, I just had this feeling of having friends coming from afar to look out for me.
Recognizing the Taiwanese for their contributions to helping other nations in their time of need, residents here are very moved by the earnest work of Tzu Chi volunteers.
Miss Guo is my Chinese teacher. We use Line to communicate. When she told me about the volunteer activity, I was really excited, and it's been a wonderful opportunity to serve together with you all.
In fact, I have not done this in a group for a while. Even though we have a lot of Taiwanese friends, I felt differently.
Ms. Guo is just one example of the heartfelt connection that links Taiwan and Japan. Volunteers like Ms. Guo are a shining example of the love and compassion Taiwan offers to Kumamoto during this difficult time.
In today's report on nurses, we'll meet nurse Liang Yuxin, a veteran nurse with over 30 years of experience. She's the head nurse at the nursing home at Taichung Tzu Chi Hospital. With much experience dealing with the elderly patients, Liang Yuxin easily bonds with them.
早安，医生早。你是阿桃，我是阿辉好，所以咱两个做阵叫做桃辉好。
This is the director of the Taichung Tzu Chi Hospital's nursing home. She is often talking with the elderly patients staying here, and if they can't remember her name, they can just call her Ahua.
For a lot of the elderly, calling a person a nurse or head nurse makes their relationship more distant, so I asked them to call me by a more familiar name. It helps put them at ease.
你是好大家阿我嘞？好媳妇好。好媳妇甲嫁出去。好爱好媳妇嫁出去啊！为什么要嫁好媳妇？骗金啦，大家开。
Every day here, you can hear the sounds of seniors laughing, and their progress is visible.
When she first came, she was stuck in bed and drooling. Now we're practicing swallowing. She talks with a tracheostomy and she can walk some distance. Okay, here we go. Right foot, left foot, right foot.
The caretakers and nurses have really helped my wife so much. She wouldn't have improved this much without their care. She's constantly improving and I'm grateful.
Here at the small nursing home attached to the Tzu Chi Hospital in Taichung is head nurse Liang Yuxin, who has over 30 years of experience as a nurse. She is the leader of the nursing team and makes sure all the patients here receive the best quality care. This is 90-year-old Huang Mei Ju, who has been here for over a year and has made serious progress in her recovery since she arrived.
I'm really grateful for the care here. Things here have been good so far. Although I can't walk around, everything else is great. We really use professionalism when we care for these seniors. I really hope that under our care, they will be able to return home and that their stay here will be a short one.
When their situation allows, patients are released from the hospital. But Nurse Liang always remembers her patients and worries about their health at home, which is why once a month she will accompany a team of nurses to conduct home visits to see her former patients. Miss Liang also happens to be a Tzu Chi volunteer who has spent years serving her community. Despite the hard work and challenges she faces as a nurse, Miss Liang stays positive and cares for others like they are her own family.
Back in 2008, a Tzu Chi College volunteer from central Taiwan, Lai Xiaoyi, called upon her fellow Tzu Chings to get up at 5:30 a.m. to listen to Master Zheng Yan's Wisdom at Dawn broadcast. Master Zheng Yan praised their efforts to learn the Dharma and named the activity Wake Up to the Fragrance of Dharma. In today's Tzu Chi's 50th anniversary series report, we'll look at how Tzu Chi volunteers worldwide were eventually inspired by these Tzu Chings to learn the Dharma diligently. Amidst a light rain at dawn, street lights illuminate the dark. While most people are still asleep, Liu Chen Meigui has already headed out to meet up with her friend.
I asked a fellow Tzu Chi member, Chen Luan, to come downstairs.
79-year-old Liu Chen Meigui rides her bike, traveling over the streets, sharing her vitality with the city.
I wear this raincoat on rainy days along with this hat. Rare is birth as a human being. Hard it is to obtain the chance to listen to the Dharma.
Liu and Chen Luan have been acquaintances for 50 years. They meet up every morning, but where are they heading? Rain or shine, they persevere in heading to the Tzu Chi office to listen to Dharma teachings. Since Liu and Chen are both illiterate, they cannot take notes like the other people. Nevertheless, they have taken the Dharma to heart, learning every word of it.
Before we talked with other people, we remember the Master's teachings. The Master has taught us to endure and cultivate diligently. We cannot get angry.
Since I am illiterate, I know little about principles in the society. However, listening to the master's teachings has broadened my mind.
Listening to the master's morning sermons, they're reminded to apply Dharma in their daily life. The two senior bodhisattvas, despite being illiterate, have changed because of the positive energy Buddhist teachings have brought them.
Listening attentively is more useful than taking notes. She can then apply the master's teachings in her life.
The practice of people listening to morning sermons began in 2008. Back then, a Tzu Chi College volunteer from central Taiwan, Liu Xiaoyi, called upon her fellow Tzu Chis to get up at 5:30 to listen to Master Cheng Yan's Wisdom at Dawn broadcast.
As a Tzu Chi leader, I also need to continue learning. So we hope to learn continuously. It happens that at 5:30 a.m., Wisdom at Dawn is being shown on DaAi TV.
Many Tzu Chis joined the activity and went online to share their feelings and discussions. Their efforts were praised by Master Cheng Yan, who encouraged other Tzu Chi volunteers to follow suit.
他们还要做笔记哦，还要了心得分享哦。下一代的慈亲是全球能做到这样哦，所以各位师伯跟师姑你们能不听话吗？那这师父要你讲辛苦都安尼得咧坚持呀那为什么你们不领换呢？
Master Cheng Yan then named this activity Wake Up to the Fragrance of Dharma. Wisdom at Dawn, broadcast at 5:30 a.m., recaps the Master's sermons on the Lotus Sutra. Besides viewers in Taiwan, people overseas can also watch the broadcast.
I
listen to the sermons at 11 in the evening. It is my blessing to do so, because the Master is my spiritual mentor, who has helped me nurture my wisdom. I often remind myself to follow in the footsteps of the Master. Since the Master is in her old age, I need to seize all the opportunities to learn.
Because of the time difference between Taiwan and Jordan, the morning sermons are broadcast at 11:30 p.m. in Jordan. Chen Qiuhua, a Tzu Chi volunteer in Jordan, insists on listening to the Dharma teachings before going to bed. Besides him, others overcome language barriers to learn the Dharma.
I listen to the Master's teaching attentively, and I can comprehend about 50 to 60% of it. I feel very fortunate to be able to do so.
In addition, children who cannot write have drawn pictures of what they learned from the sermons.
The Master said that our brain is like a storage facility. If we store bad things, we'd be putting bombs in our brain, leading to explosions. If we store good things, we will think kind thoughts.
Technology has helped people overcome vast distances to allow people to learn the Dharma. Outside Taiwan, volunteers at 501 Tzu Chi offices in 26 countries, including Jordan, Malaysia, Indonesia, Lesotho, Toronto, have participated in listening to morning sermons online. As Buddhist principles are spread, Dharma assemblies are also being held daily.
I think that spreading Buddhist teachings with the use of technology is very important.
Despite being in different countries and speaking different languages, Tzu Chi volunteers persevere in studying the Dharma and the positive energy of Buddhism. Their diligence has inspired a master to continue delivering sermons day after day. Since being introduced to Taiwan, over the past 25 years, 160,000 foreign laborers have left their employers, with the government estimating that 50,000 of them are missing in action. According to the Ministry of Labor, the 50,000 foreign workers that are missing are still in Taiwan working illegally. Follow our report as we learn more about the plight of illegal foreign laborers.
Our survey shows that about 25% of them go to work illegally in the construction or manufacturing industries.
At a construction site, if you see foreign laborers, most likely they are illegals who have left their employers.
The Labor Ministry estimates more than 40,000 foreign laborers have left their employers and entered the construction and manufacturing industry and are now illegally working. 27-year-old Vietnamese foreign laborer Ah Xin is one such individual. However, he originally came to Taiwan as a legal worker.
Monthly salary deductions include health insurance premiums, agent fees, accommodations, personal living expenses. This leaves me with only around $300 per month.
Ah Xin was disappointed he couldn't earn that much. 7 months later, he learned that a construction site was very short of workers and was offering more than double his current wages.
Through referrals, I was able to find illegal work on this site.
They start underground recruiting of foreign laborers, telling them to quickly leave their employers so they can make more money.
Why do construction developers take the risk of violating the law to hire illegal foreign laborers who have escaped their employers? The simple reason is that the private construction industry in Taiwan is prohibited from employing foreign laborers.
Taiwan's import of foreign workers. You see 6 out of every 10 working in manufacturing. You can see how indispensable they are. Out of 100 foreign laborers, only 1 works in the construction industry. As one can see, the labor shortage is quite acute in this industry.
If we open the market to foreign laborers with no government regulation, all of the jobs will be taken by these workers. Construction work is paid a little more than the manufacturing industry. This means if Taiwan citizens still want to do this work, we shouldn't support opening this market.
Though the government continues to prohibit foreign laborers in the private construction industry, in recent years it has allowed them to work on public construction projects.
On public construction projects, we frequently see a lot of foreign laborers who work even despite the inclement weather.
Domestic laborers fear working in elevated areas for this type of construction work. Local laborers aren't willing to do it, so we have to rely upon foreign laborers to help.
工作很好，工作很好，公司很好，老板很好，对我们很好。
The construction industry, which lacks workers, may even provide higher salaries to foreign laborers. For such workers whose goal is to earn money in Taiwan, they can be easily recruited by brokers on the black market.
有没有证件？证件，他是否？
这些非法中介还利用这些外劳。
These illegal intermediaries may even intimidate illegal foreign laborers to cooperate and follow workers and employers' instructions.
Foreign laborers who leave their employers are often billed as illegal, though they haven't actually committed a crime, simply violating the Employment Service Act and Immigration Act. Once they're caught, they are fined and sent home.
Everyone's betting on their luck, and there's a chance they could get caught. For foreign workers, I think the illegal work they perform may help them, but there is the threat of a fine. And for these runaway workers, there is no other impact.
The number of foreign workers who leave their employers is rising each year. While statistics illuminate this troubling problem, they do little to explain the human tragedy behind these stories, as well as the complicated social structure which has caused it.
In Malaysia, Tzu Chi volunteers have been inviting people to save up in coin banks to help the less fortunate. The teachers and students at St. Joseph Elementary School have joined the cause for a year. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for joining us. Goodbye.